Hello friends, it's Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. This is my end of year TBR. I got my hair dyed today and she tinted my eyebrows. They're a little bit dark, so don't be afraid. But I'm basically here to share with you what I'm going to be reading for the last 6 weeks of the year. I have big ambitious plans as usual, and we're gonna get right into it. First up, let's talk about book clubs. The Literally Dead Book Club is reading Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead in the month of November. I have no clue when the live show is yet, but you have plenty of time, I'm sure, a good couple weeks to read this. If you want to participate in the Goodreads discussion for it, that is up on Goodreads. I'll link it down below. And it is a story of a woman grappling with her very religious town, believing that there is like a vampire-like presence killing people, but really there is more sinister real world stuff afoot, and she has to figure it out with a guy. Her and a guy doing it together. Oh, not doing it together. Well, maybe they are. I think there's a little bit of romance in here too. Anyway, next book club, my besties book club, which is my channel members book club. We do it seasonally, and we're reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This is a cozy romance fantasy where we have a girl who's working on her Encyclopedia of Fairies, and she ends up working with this guy to discover the secrets of the Hidden Ones, which is a type of fae. Now let's talk about some video plans. So one thing is I'm kicking off probably 10 days of Christmas videos starting on Christmas or the day before, and I'm going to kick it off with reading some Christmassy short stories. I have The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson and Christmas and Other Horrors, a winter solstice anthology edited by Ellen Datlow. So these are some things that I'm thinking about reading. I only want to read like 2 or 3 different books in that video, and that'll be my last vlog of the year. And then the rest of the end of the year content is end of the year content where I tell you my favorites, my least favorites, superlatives, who knows what else. I'm working on a couple like secret TBRs that will be up in November and December respectively, and I only have to read a couple more things for each of them. I have Full Circle by Danielle Steele. And you know what's fun? I don't know the plot of this. One shocking night, Tana's innocence will end and her life will change forever. Who's Tana? No clue. All will make sense when the video comes out. Another book that I have in the works for another video is The Hole by Ha-Young Pyun, translated by Sora Kim Russell, and this is about a person who just woke up out of a coma, and he is lying there thinking about his life. His wife passed away in that accident that left him in a coma, and she really loved her garden or something, and now her mother is at their home digging a hole, bigger and bigger every day. Again, that one will have more context when the video comes out. And then, I mean, we've got the Goodreads Choice Awards. That's what takes up the bulk of my November every year, is reading some of the nominees. So I'll run through some of the ones that I'm planning on. We've got Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. This is about incarcerated folks who have the ability to get out of their circumstances by like fighting to the death. I read the first chapter and was very intrigued a couple months back. I'm planning on reading Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang, which is a horror novel about a woman obsessed with like the beauty industry, gets a job in the beauty industry, and things get more like sinister as she's in it. I recently got Happiness Falls from Book of the Month by Angie Kim. I really liked the last Angie Kim that I read, Miracle Creek, and this one I don't fully know the plot of. I'm sure I've read this before. Father goes missing. His family's desperate search leads them to question everything they knew about him. I think this is more, you know, general fiction than mystery, but there is a mystery. So that's that. I'm hoping to get to The Deep Sky by Yume Kitase. They left Earth to save humanity. They'll have to save themselves first. A single ship carries humanity's last hope. 80 elite graduates of a competitive program who will give birth to a generation of children in deep space. I think I need some more sci-fi in my life over the end of the year, so that's why I'm hyped to read these. Also from Book of the Month, I recently grabbed How to Say Babylon by Sophia Sinclair, and this is about a woman who has grown up under a rigid Rastafari upbringing and how her views change and her relationship changes with her family as she grows up. Speaking of the Goodreads Choice Awards, it is absolutely sinister of them to have gotten rid of children's poetry and comics, though those aren't the categories I was most interested in. I just think it's so confusing, like why they would take categories away. There doesn't seem to be a good reason for it. I talked about all of this in the live show that I did last night, reacting to the Goodreads Choice Awards, where a lot of my channel members helped me pick certain selections and just to react to everything together. I'm also planning to read Rubber Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. This is about a character enslaved on a plantation in Barbados, and after the Emancipation Act, they realize that their life is still being very much controlled and stifled. So she runs away and is on a journey of survival and finding her lost family members. I do have some more up here in a perfect world I would get to by the end of the year, but I also have some other categories and books that I don't have in my hands right now to show you. So these might have to wait until next year. I do think I'm going to read some more romance by the end of the year. Either Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez or Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This one is about doctors and a hospital and a romance there. And this one is about a girl who runs a flower shop. This guy's a bodyguard. It's like, not her bodyguard. She doesn't need a bodyguard as a flower shop owner. But he sets out to like teach her how to have a successful relationship or something like that. Hopefully you will see from me a video titled, "This video ends when I get a 5-star romance." Because right now, it's not looking promising. I also had a video that was gonna go up this month, or I was gonna work on it this month, and then I just didn't. Maybe it was supposed to be last month, and maybe I'm pushing it to next month, but maybe I'm not. And it was a reading books that I should have read for other videos. So like I picked a TBR for a video and didn't love them all, and maybe if I had selected this book instead, I would have loved it. I've had that video in the works for a while, but now with all of the other content, I've been kind of pre-filming, and one video that I didn't think was going to get to go up this year, but I am putting out like next week. I don't know if I have room for this other video. So hopefully you're not waiting on anything that I've talked about earlier. I think maybe I talked about it in my fall TBR actually, but I think one of the only books that I actually told you about that was going to be in it is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. So perhaps I should just make this happen outside of a vlog, because I do want to be realistic with my TBR. And I don't know if that video is like super important to make, because tons of times I just naturally read things that I wanted to read or should have read for various videos or moments in my life. But I could also maybe move it to 2024 and call it like books I should have read in 2023. Maybe you let me know what you think about that. Because if you want me to squeeze it in for the end of the year, like maybe I could. But what are you more likely to click on? Like when are you more likely to click on it? At the end of the year where I'm like, no regrets, it's the end of the year, I don't want to leave it without reading this selection of books that I should have? Or in 2024, is it better to be like reflecting on the things that I missed out on? Now, a swift transition to the last thing that I want to talk to you about quickly. It's only 6 weeks, like how much is there really to tell you about? I do need to pick something for my TBR jar, and I'm really sad that we're in this situation, but it has to be a win or we don't do the TBR jar next year. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't see this coming. If you're new, my members TBR jar is something that I created over a year ago now, and every channel member of mine has the opportunity to suggest a book to me, and every month I pull something out and I have to read it. Here's everything that I've read so far this year. These ones were wins, these ones were not, and some of these were unexpected. And I know one of them, like, you haven't heard me talk about it all yet, but just know it wasn't a 4 or 5 star. And the deal is, if half of them are wins, then I continue it for another year. There are many opportunities that I could still pull this out next year and do something else, like a different series, but the monthly situation is over if it's not a 4 or 5 star. So the pressure is just so incredibly high, and I don't even know how to begin to pick something. Like, I feel like I should pick 3 things and read the first chapter of 3 things, and then it's guaranteed to be a success. But anytime I've suggested doing anything with the TBR jar that lets me have any control whatsoever, people are adamantly against it, which I completely agree with, because, you know, it is in line with the goal of this. But only one thing to read in December. This is so fun for me that I don't want it to end. I don't want to pick one. I can't even grab just one. They're all stuck together. Oh my God. What color is it? Okay, this is a newer one. Oh, it's so dark I can't even read it. Who's it from? Cuddle with Books. This is your suggestion. What? It's it's A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. Okay, so wow. This could be best case scenario because I do think this is probably in here quite a few times. People recommend it to me relentlessly. People are like actively angry at me that I haven't read this. And the reason I haven't read it is because I've DNF'd it 3 different times. With that said, I don't think I've gotten more than 50 pages in. And also it's full of tropes that I usually like. And also I've liked almost all of the sci-fi that has been, a lot of sci-fi has come out of the jar this year. So this is what we're doing. Thank you very much. This is a lot of pressure. I feel like chances are high that I will like it just because everybody else likes it, even though I have picked up and put it down a lot. I do still have it in my TBR closet. I was actually considering including it in a TBR that I had in my mind for next year, where I read like the weirdest books that are in my TBR closet. Not weird as in plot, but weird as in why do I own it? So let me grab it. Didn't I just say I wanted to read more sci-fi by the end of the year? Oh, there it is. That was easier than I thought. Okay, this is by Becky Chambers. It is a cozy found family science fiction book. Actually, let me read it. It's cozy, found family, fun sci-fi. The whole series is amazing, but the first one really hits and sets up good world building for the rest of the series. We have a character named Rosemary who joins the crew of the Wayfarer. She gets a lot more than she bargained for. The crew is a mishmash of species and personalities. Life on board is chaotic, but more or less peaceful. Exactly what Rosemary wants. I'm nervous, but I do think there's a high chance that I like this. I think it could happen. I know you all want it to happen. Wow, okay. Listen, the fact that there are so many things that I could pull out of here, and I just pulled something that not only have I heard of, but I own. That has to mean it's gonna be a successful pull. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this quick TBR for the end of the year, and just so you can get an idea of the things that I'll be reading in case you wanna, I don't know, look forward to any of my reviews or read anything unofficially, buddy read something with me, or join my book clubs and what have you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you later. Bye.